Hey everyone, Jet and Mike 7 here, and I'm back with another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And today going to be one of my reviews, the first episode one of Marvel's new show, Disney on that'll be premiere on Disney Plus, calling Secret Invasion. This show will be starring by none other than Samuel L. Jackson. We haven't seen him for a while now. We have also some returning characters such as Bria Hill, Agent Ross. We got newcomers here such as Emilia Clarke. And yeah, we're gonna be talking about it now. For those of you guys don't know what Secret Invasion is in terms of Marvel Comics, is actually a big crossover event, just like the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. Um, you know, uh, Civil War. It's basically a storyline where the Skrulls, which is the alien race, which you see over right here, right, which we got introduced in Captain Marvel, they basically are infiltrating the entire Marvel universe, or basically all the heroes on Earth, right? And now it was a big, massive event, and everything involved a bunch of characters like the X Men, the Fantastic Four. This is going to be much more smaller size storyline, especially for it being a Disney Plus show and not an Avengers movie, which that really what its story was supposed to be, or in terms of the scale that really that was supposed to be, right? But yeah, but we pick off this story after post Endgame, actually after the events of She-Hulk and before the events of the next Captain Marvel movie, The Marvels. We see Nick Fury basically as a new Nick Fury. We see him more grizzled, more like definitely retired. He's been through some battles, but he's almost out of his league now. And people are telling him that, hey, man, you're not fit for this job and stuff, right? And saying that after the blip, basically you became a changed man. That for someone such as Nick Fury, the Nick Fury we've known forever, right? The person who always has like two steps ahead, right? And he never saw the blip come. He never saw Thanos coming, right? So he kind of beat himself up about that, right? And you also see other characters such as Talos, which you see he got introduced to Captain Marvel as well. You see, they're good scrolls, whatever. But basically, that the scrolls were trusting Nick Fury to basically provide him a new home. But since it's been many years since the events of Captain Marvel, which has been 30 years, right? They felt forgotten, that some scrolls basically left, became rogue, and actually plan on making Earth their new home and actually infiltrating humans and basically taking their identities. And we start off with this episode, which you see with Agent Ross, which we see from Black Panther of Wakanda Forever. We know he's on AWOL right now. He just been escaped from jail by Okoye and everything, but also we think he's on the run, right? We don't know if he's back in Wakanda or not. But as we can see in the scene that this episode started, that we basically see uh, that Agent Ross is actually a Skrull, at least the one that we saw in the beginning of this episode, right? Now there's probably some theories possibly saying, hey, is Agent Ross was a Skrull during Black Panther Wakanda Forever? No, probably not. But you see later in this episode that we get to see new characters actually taking these people's identities away and everything. But I just want to say before we like kind of get into more nitty gritty of it, and also the big spoiler at the end, I gotta give props to Nick Fury right here, because to Samuel L. Jackson, because we've seen him for over 10 years now. So we think like, what new can he can bring to a role, right? We never actually see like a deep dive of who Nick Fury is and everything, right? And I really appreciate that they actually went a step further, and actually dive more into his character, even though that this episode, or at least this show, is giving a tone for being more slow, like slow pace, and actually be more grittier and darker. I see some of the reviews and critics are probably saying they're not actually liking that, and that's no hero there. But I do agree that this is a more of a slow burn. I haven't seen the second episode yet. I know some people have, but I'm definitely getting the tone of this film more like a Winter Soldier, a Black Widow, more darker story in the MCU than actually just heighten no jokey, all that stuff like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, right? But again, we see other characters such as Emilia Clarke playing a old up grown up version of Talos's daughter, right? And she's basically left her father, and joining this faction of Skrulls who want to take over Earth and everything, led by one of the characters known as Gravik, who's like a terrorist, right? And they're planning on trying to set up this bomb and everything, right? And as you get into this espionage and everything storyline, again, you see more Nick Fury kind of getting out of his league and just being showing up from space, which he's been staying at a facility called Saber, which is probably connected to Sword, the space shield, faction, government team, whatever. That I guess that Nick Fury has been out of Earth for so long and everything. But that's where he's been. So, and really honestly, and I see some people, if you haven't actually seen this episode, there's really not that much to spoil other than really the ending of it. And then even then, it's almost questions like whether this person or not uh, this incident happened, right? But we're gonna get into it. But when we actually get into more and more into this episode, right, we're kind of seeing that the character Gravik is actually having a vendetta against Nick Fury, saying that, listen, man, after Endgame or after the blip, you left us, man, and we've been waiting for a new home for 30 years and stuff like that, and then you haven't provided that for us. And you see people trying to go into that community, saying that the line, "I want to live in my own skin," right? But doing that, you can see there's people that have a motive, that a motive where you can in order for you to be a part of us, you have to be part of our mission. Our mission is basically to take control of Earth, right? But as we get into it, we see that Talos and his daughter, played by Emilia Clarke, is not doesn't have that well of a relationship, right? Um, yeah, you can see that their obviously time has passed. Apparently, their mother's passed away or was actually killed by Gravik, off screen, whatever. But we do see that relationship being kind of a riff and everything starting the show. But as we get more into it, you see that Emilia Clarke, she's still having a motive to actually just want to save her people and everything, right? Which is obviously Talos, the character that has that same motive too, but apparently that is not the same outcome in terms of what uh the same outcome that these two sides of the same coin want, right? People want to kill to get what they want. Some people just want to live in peace, right? But the big thing that we kind of get into this episode at the end is more trying to find this bomb, and we meet some other government uh agency people. Oh, 1 second. uh Making sure you guys can hear me. Making sure everything's all cool. We all good, y'all? Cool. um but yeah, but as we get further into the episode and everything, we meet other characters such as a Russian or British lady named Sonia, who's part of the government, who has a relationship with Nick Fury, or at least knows of him and everything, right? Thank you, Wally. Appreciate it. That knows of him and everything. But we do see that again, that everyone is telling Nick Fury the same thing. Obviously, he looks like a mess. He's not, himself and everything, and he's just out of his league in terms of being in this fight, right? And I do again want to see more. It is a 6 episode part, series and everything. I do want to see more in terms of where they go in terms of the future of this character, and how they kind of get more to the backstory and saying like how has he evolved, and especially that he's not even wearing an eye patch anymore, right? Apparently, when I was looking into the reports, they're saying that Samuel Jackson was saying that the reason why he's not wearing his eye patch anymore because that version of Nick Fury we know of him having an eye patch was a sense of his stoicism and everything, of him being strong. But now it's like that's almost him removing his eye patch, is almost expressing his vulnerability now as a character, saying that he's not who he is anymore. He's not the Nick Fury that we know him to be, right? So yeah, and then apparently the Easter egg that the lady Sonia, she's probably a relative, distant relative of one of the commandos, who was teaming up with Captain America back in World War II. And so yeah, that's the Easter egg there for you guys. But yeah, that she's apparently a distant relative of one of the Howling Commandos who worked with Captain America. So that's the Easter egg for y'all. But again, we get into the third act finally, and we see that they're trying to find this bomb, and find that a lot of radioactivity over there. And again, it's become more of an espionage thing that we've seen these type of movies before, such as Mission Impossible, whatever. But then again, these scrolls, they're shapeshifters, right? And as we're trying to find this, this bomb and everything. You have Gravik is confronting Nick Fury, and he sets the bomb off, and as chaos is erupting, and people are running, bumping to each other, right? All of a sudden, you see Nick Fury go up to Maria Hill, and he smiles at her, and you think that's Nick Fury until he shoots her right in the gut, right? And supposedly Maria Hill is dead, right? Lying dead, right? And uh, the Gravik was the person that killed her, but he shapeshifted into Nick Fury and shot her, right? So again, and basically, and I hope, and this is my big thing, I hope they don't leave this to be. I hope they keep the character's death in terms of the show and make it say, listen, there's no redemption, there's no, oh yeah, no, she's actually fine, you've been shot in the gut, you've been doing this thing for over 10 years, you had a good run, your character's over, right? And let there have stakes finally in this show, right? That's why I want them to actually have, because that's my biggest problem I have with some of the Marvel movies. They don't kill off their characters, right? Not for the sake of shock value, but for the sake of having stakes, having some type of uh weight, dramatic weight to the show, right? Not just saying, oh, everyone's fine, everything, especially when you're dealing with aliens and other stuff like that. No, characters need to die, and that's how and hopefully that their depth is what serves the story, which obviously for here, as you see in the trailers and everything moving forward, that this is personal, and him trying to get with the scrolls and everything, this has now become personal, and now you know why. But that's how we end off with this episode and everything. But really, there's nothing left to be really kind of breaking down on that. There's still more. You do see a shot of Rhodey, who is like kind of the right hand man to the president, and which he's probably a scroll, we don't know, but just this show is basically saying that to everybody that don't that everyone's not meant to be trusted, and anyone can be an imposter or whatever that might be, which is a kind of reflection of where our world is today, right? And that's what I appreciate about this, at least this type of show they're trying to do. I still think they should have done a more bigger scale event story like they did in the comics, like making an Avengers movie. But again, still, you want to try to do the story, and if it's good, then have more longer, stretched out, like 6 hour storytelling. All right, cool. But this massive event is not to the scale that it could have been in the comics, where you had the X-Men, you had the Avengers, you had the Fantastic Four, Super Scrolls, all this stuff, right? Spider-Man, all this stuff, right? But I really do hope they do the storyline justice and not nerf it. What I'm saying. So I know these are some of the critics' reviews and stuff. If you're looking for a more fast paced show, at least from this episode, this show really isn't for you as of right now. But you're looking for a more dramatic, more immersive in terms of form of storytelling, then go by all means go check out this show. I will be continuing reviewing the show week by week and everything, so make sure you guys stand by. I appreciate y'all in the comments. Shout out to Wally in the building. Shout out to the Chester Cat. Shout out to I'll Be That News. And also, if you're in the comments and everything, any content creators, make sure you guys go subscribe to your channels and everything. I'll make sure we have community. We're supporting everybody else here. Shout out to Grey Pill, Dangerously Active in the building. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'll Be That News. I saw your comment the other day. I will be in touch with you about collaborating on some reviews and stuff like that. And I know we'll be moving forward. I will be in touch with you. But thank you guys for stopping by. I wasn't trying to be long here and everything. My other channel review shows also. Yeah, my information's in the description box below. You can find me here at Jedi Mike 7 on Instagram. So anybody want to try to collab or anything like that, just you look at my contact information down below. But till next time, y'all, this is not trying to be long or anything. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. I'll see y'all next week for Secret Invasion episode 2 on Disney Plus. Make sure you guys subscribe to Disney Plus and everything. Till next time, peace. We are out.